Welcome back, Hogtown campers. So, got a cool day planned here. Right now, I am at Ringling Lake here in Eastland, and I think I've mentioned it to you in one of my previous videos. I'll put up the thumbnail when I edit the video. But I'm here doing some hiking. After we get done here, I'm going to go to Lake Leon and set up a little campsite and do some camping and fishing. But right now, I want to introduce you guys to someone. Meet Rusty. Alright, so Rusty here is my new little buddy. He's a 4-month-old miniature Dachshund, or as I like to refer to him, a weiner dog. He's going to be in my camping companion here from now on. But let's take a look at this place. Alright, so just nice secluded area. This is the first time I've ever been out here, even though I've lived in this area the majority of my life. When I first walked up, right here, there was a doe standing there, and I didn't know it, but the buck, he was like right over here. But I was able to walk up and get within probably 30 feet of her, and I got a good picture of her. So I'll put those up when I edit the video. But yeah, pretty neat place. I'm going to try to find this picnic area that they say is here. But right now, I'll show you what else is here. So there's a little area. I'm not sure what it was. If it was like an old picnic table or whatever made out of concrete and rock. But, so yeah. Cool place. It's going to be a good day. Me and Rusty are going to get back on the trail and go find the picnic area and have some lunch. So I stopped on the trail, me and Rusty, to have a little lunch. So apparently the picnic area of this place is, well, not much. It's basically the area I was at that had the old broken down concrete picnic table. But I found another one a little farther down the trail, so I figured that would have to be the place. But let me tell you about this place a little bit. So I think this park was it originated like 1918, somewhere in the early 1900s, like that. And it's named after John Ringling, the man who was famous for the Ringling Brothers Circus. And when the circus would come through Eastland, they would stop here. The railroad tracks ran close to here. And so they would stop, and the story is they would stop and stay here for a little while, offload the animals so that they could drink and eat, whatnot, rest. But the city owns this place now. It's not really kept up too well. The only facilities they have here, they have like a shooting range and an archery range. And then, of course, the lake. And, I mean, you can walk in and hike, but you can't drive in. So it's pretty much use at your own risk. But, I mean, it's nice if you like wild country, wild hiking. Definitely going to be another trip here in the future, just for hiking. Rusty's doing okay. Let me show you Rusty. He's having him some lunch right now and some water. This is his first outdoor trip, so he's doing pretty good. Although must be nice because I've had to carry him for a little while because I don't want him to get overheated. So anyway, that's that. Oh, one other thing. I think, like I said, I talked about this place a little bit in one of my other videos, and I've talked about a story of a ghost called Screaming Sheila. this is the place where Screaming Sheila is supposedly supposed to be. And around this, probably not gonna hike around the whole lake, even though you can, because I've got the dog. But there's an old bridge, and I'll put a picture up when I finish the video. But there's an old bridge on the other side of the lake where she's supposedly supposed to be. Anyway, fun fact. So I'll meet up with you guys again once I get to Lake Leon, and we will set up camp, get our fishing stuff out and get it ready, and see if we can catch some catfish. Alrighty guys, I'm back with you. So Rusty and I are at Lake Leon, and we are in Chock-a-Block Park, which is one of the 2 camping areas on the lake. So I'm gonna walk around for a bit and show you guys this place. It's a lot nicer facility than where we were at just a little bit ago. Alright, well, there's Rusty checking out his new location. But see, it's a pretty nice little park. Lots of trees, a nice fishing dock we're gonna make use of later. It's even got some covered picnic table areas and lots of RV spots. And this is where we're gonna be. Got a picnic table, barbecue grill, which we're not gonna use it. And that's it. I'm gonna put the tent right over here, I believe. I'm gonna stick the tent, I think, right there. That's the most level spot. So yeah, I'm gonna unload some stuff and get camp set up. And then in a little bit, I'm gonna shed the leggings on my pants and my hiking shoes and get a little bit more comfortable and get camp set up, and then we're gonna go fishing. Okay guys, so the wind picked up just a little bit. I'm gonna wait it out before I try to go fishing, but otherwise it's really a great day. It's not just super hot. Let me show you my fishing pole. Alright, I've actually got 2, and they are Zebco Rhino sticks. I've had them for a while. Supposed to be unbreakable. So far so good. I've got some, I'm a spin cast kind of guy, or a spinner actually. So I've got 2 Lew's reels, but I don't think I'm gonna use both of them. I'll probably just use the one. I'm gonna have it set up for catfish, but once I get ready to do that, I'll probably get the GoPro out and film some of that. But right now, since I've got here, there's been a few cars come and go. As you can see, there's the I'm guessing that's sort of like the park personnel. There's a dude back there. But like I say, it's a super cool lake. It's not very big, but it's only 15 minutes from the house. So, you know, this is where I go to do any kind of fishing or whatnot. But, well, actually, let me show you camp real quick. Come on, Rusty. Once again, I'm using my little A-frame tent. Got Rusty's play yard set up. That way, if I need to contain him, I can. And that's it. Simple setup. But I've got a buddy coming later. I'm probably not, he don't like to be on camera, so I'm not going to film when he's here. So I don't know when or if I'm going to do a story tonight, but I'm definitely going to do a fire. I'll get pictures of that. But I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to hang out some more, have me another youngling flight, and I'll check back with you. Alright, so I was just sitting here, minding my own business, and a whole flock of Canadian geese just flew over me, like maybe 20 feet above me. Needless to say, I was scrambling, trying to get pictures, but nope. I got one, but they're already too far away. Yeah, that was awesome. Hey guys, I'm back. So, these trips never go completely as planned. Like I mentioned, I had a friend come out and we sat around the fire and visited pretty much all evening, so I wasn't able to do a story, but it was a good fire. It was a good time. So I'm in the tent. Let me show you my setup. Basically, just a standard little warm weather sleeping bag, my sleeping pad, and a pillow. Of course, here's Rusty in his kennel. But like I say, I didn't get to do a campfire story, but that doesn't mean I can't share something real quick. So, as you know, and I don't know, maybe you don't know, can't remember if I mentioned this before or not, I was in the Air Force for 7 years. And for the first 3 years of that, I was stationed at a base in Cheyenne, Wyoming called F.E. Warren. And this base originally started out as a cavalry post. Most of the buildings on the base were built in the 1800s. So there's lots of history there. But on top of that, it's considered the second most haunted location in the state of Wyoming. So while I was there, I never experienced any kind of strange things, but I heard lots of stories, and I'll just throw this out there. Most of these stories are definitely secondhand, but they are still good stories. So one of the best stories I've got from there concerns a place that's on base called Crow Creek. And Crow Creek is sort of a campground for people that live on base, or even visitors can go out there, and camp. But basically what happened was one time the law enforcement on base got called, and they were hearing screams coming from the campground. It sounded like a woman being beaten, but they called a domestic violence call. The base law enforcement came out and they tore the place upside down and could not find anybody that was being abused. But the weird thing was, every time they would get close to what they thought was the sound of the screams, well, then they would move somewhere else. And this went on, and finally they just gave up. They couldn't find them, but they could hear the screaming. And the story goes that supposedly in that area there used to be an Indian camp, a Native American camp. And they had taken some of these pioneer women hostage and tortured them and did other unspeakable things. And so the story is that this is one of the ghosts of the women that were killed there. So, kind of a dark story, but while I was stationed there, I did talk to a couple people who had witnessed this phenomenon. They heard the screams, and supposedly it's kind of tied to the time of the year, like in the spring is when this happens. So that was one experience that I heard about from there. A second real quick story is there's a cemetery on base, and a lot of the patrolmen that patrol the base at night have witnessed a woman in black walking around in the cemetery among the graves. I never seen this, and I never did talk to anybody specific that had seen this phenomenon, but those are just a couple of the stories I heard over the years while I was stationed there. There's a lot more. There's some stories I've got from that base that I was told that are pretty dark, and maybe I'll share some of those in a later video. But the reason why I wanted to bring these stories up was that yesterday was the birthday of the Air Force, and so I just wanted to shout out to my fellow Air Force veterans and current Air Force members to have a happy Air Force birthday. All right, guys. I didn't get to fish tonight. Like I say, my friend showed up and it got really windy. And I'm not going to lie, by the time I got here, got set up, I was tired from the hiking. And by the time I was ready to go and do some fishing, my friend was here. And so we ended up just hanging out around the fire, talking, had some beers. And so, sometimes things just don't work out. But I plan to in the morning when I get up, after I kind of get things packed away, I am going to go over to the other side of the park and maybe do a little fishing for a while. So I'll probably see you folks in the morning. And if not, thanks for watching. I've got Rusty tucked into his kennel over here. He would like to be out with me, but he's still potty training, so I kind of got to keep him contained a little bit right now. But I'm sure you'll see some more of him tomorrow. But until then, good night. Well, good morning. Alright, so got up a little bit ago and started kind of taking down summer camp. But right now I'm going to do the obligatory coffee making in the camping video. Let's see this. Alright. So real quick, I'm going to boil some water in my pot using my fire maple stove. And I'm probably going to have some vanilla, French vanilla coffee. Yeah, I'm going to make my coffee and sit down and kind of hang out for a little bit. Then pack up and go over to the dock over there and do some fishing. Alrighty, so I got the coffee made. I'm gonna let it cool for just a minute. Hold on just a second. Alright, so while I'm sitting here waiting for the coffee to cool, I figured I would take the time to sort of update you folks on some stuff. So next month on Halloween weekend, I'm going to do a camp out at Ringling Lake State Park. And I'm sure if anybody's watched some of my other videos, you know that the last time I camped there was pretty much a disaster. We had wild hogs get into the ice chests. The people I was with were not very smart when it came to keeping things secure, so I kind of lost the vote. I wanted to keep the coolers in the car, but well, it is what it is. And then it was 120 degrees there that day, that weekend, and we had probably the worst campsite in the whole park. So I'm hoping to go back and maybe renew my thoughts about that place, because right now I think of it as kind of the worst state park I've been to. Not that the park itself isn't nice. There's a lot of nice stuff there. It's just, you know how a bad experience kind of sours you on something. Next thing I wanted to bring up to you guys, I'm always looking for other cool YouTube channels to watch about camping and outdoor stuff, and I wanted to kind of give a shout out to a couple of channels I just found recently that I really like. And what really gets me with them is they're women that are going out and doing stuff that makes them, doing like camping. And let's see, one young lady is actually building herself a place out in the woods by herself. But one of the channels is called Woodsy, and this young lady, I think, is from Michigan, and she goes canoe camping, and she completely by herself. She goes out and cooks what looks like a gourmet meal, but it's real. It's not. I know there's a lot of these channels on YouTube that are not even real. I mean, they're real channels, but the content isn't real. It's some really attractive woman out in the woods wearing hardly anything, and one minute she's over there wearing a bikini chopping a tree down with an axe, but there's no marks on the tree, and then all of a sudden the next scene shows the tree's all laying on its side and chopped up into pieces or something like that. And so these two young women are not like that. Let's see, Woodsy, she just got into fishing, so she's doing that now while she goes out and catching and cooking her own fish. She does it all. I mean, she's awesome. She's a rock star. And the other girl, her name is Madison Clydesdale. And from what I haven't watched a lot of her videos yet, but what I've seen has been very awesome, very impressive. In one video, so she explains that she just bought like 15 acres up in the woods in, where was it? British Columbia, maybe? It's somewhere up in Canada. And, she talks about how that was cheaper to buy, a patch of land out in the middle of nowhere than it was to rent or to buy a one-bedroom apartment in the city, which is probably true. But anyway, so she's got this 15 acres of land, and I'm assuming it's already has some, some stuff on it, some structures, but she's renovating her cabin that she's going to live in. But in the meantime, she's going around and doing stuff with her property. And in one video, her and her dog go out on the backside of the property to check things out. She decides she's going to build herself a bushcraft cabin out there, so that when her and her dog kind of get caught on the other side of the property, they have a place to stay. And so I think it takes her like 4 days in the video to start working on it. And there's a part 2 I haven't watched yet, but she goes out there, she has a battery operated chainsaw, she cuts the trees, she notches them, and then pegs them together. And I mean, she's by herself doing this. She's lugging the trees. I mean, it's awesome. Anybody that watches her videos should be impressed, because she does things that I can't even do. But anyway, like I say, I'm just wanted to give a shout out to those two channels specifically because I'm just very impressed with how they do things. You know, I think Woodsy even was talking about one of her videos how people think she's crazy for going out in the woods by herself and camping. And I have not really gone on many just backwoods, deep wilderness trips. I plan to eventually, but I go to state parks and I get the same, that same attitude. How can you do that by yourself? I mean, it's easy if you want to be out doing stuff like that. Anybody can do anything they want if they put their mind to it. Anyway, I'll put links to their channels in my description. I really suggest if you like camping videos and you like good camping videos and outdoor videos, give them a view because they're rock stars. I think that's pretty much it for now. Like I say, I'm gonna drink this coffee and just sort of hang out and enjoy the cool morning, and then I'm gonna load up and go over and maybe do some fishing. So I just had a really cool experience. I was sitting here drinking my coffee and I noticed a very large bird flying around over the lake, and as it came down, hold on a second. All right, so it was out this way, and as it came down this way, it sort of banked, and as it did, I noticed it had a white head and a white tail. And I'd always heard that there were bald eagles that had been seen around this lake, but never thought I would see one, but that's what it was. It was a bald eagle. You can't get much American than that. Alright, so over here at the dock now, just threw my line out. I'm using some magic bait, whopper dough bait. I have caught a lot of catfish with this particular bait over the years, so we'll see how it works out here. Let's see, Rusty's around here somewhere. Come here, Rusty. Where you at? There he is. But yeah, it's a little windy. Not sure. I've never had good luck when it's windy fishing, but it's nice. It's not too hot, so I'm gonna see what happens, and maybe I can show y'all guys a nice fish I catch. Well, okie dokie, folks, I guess that's it for this video. Didn't really have a whole lot of luck fishing this weekend. I think it's just too windy. There's a reason why there's not very many people out here right now, so that tells me they know something I don't. Anyway, me and Rusty are gonna head back home. Got a bunch of stuff to do back there. It's only 15 minutes back to the house, so no biggie. But I appreciate you all watching. Be sure to subscribe and like if you like the channel. Check out my store if you want a t-shirt or some other kind of merchandise. Other than that, I guess I'll see you folks on the next trip, which will be in October. So until then, keep camping.